Hello, everyone. Um, First of all, I need to give a quick shout out to my newest subscriber, Ben, who is also my student. Ben and I played this game during our lesson today, and I wanted to show it to you because it has a number of attacking ideas. So let's begin. The time control is 20 minutes, so that means fewer mistakes will usually be made. So let's see. The opening is normal, e4, e5. White develops the bishop. We do the same. Knight f3, attacking the pawn. And we transpose back into the Italian game. Okay, white castles. We develop the knight. We don't need to make too many comments about this moves. This is just standard development. White continues his development. Now the bishop can come out. Castle. H3 is not a terrible move, but maybe it's not quite necessary yet. It could be useful in some points to stop the bishop from showing up over here. In case if white is thinking about doing something like this. But right now it's not a mistake, obviously, but it gives black a free move. So we control the center, white trades, takes, and then he attacks the queen. We blocked, it's a forcing move, of course. The downside is the diagonal becomes a little bit more open, so the question is, will white be able to take advantage of this in the future? Um, the bishop dropped back. Although if I was the bishop, I'm not sure if this would be my favorite square. Um, Although there is an interesting point that if the bishop goes here, if black has time, black might be able to play g5 and the knight f4. The question is, does black have time to do that? Because if he does not, bishop h2 is a good move, and it doesn't seem that black can pull it off too fast because of the pin. Okay, but again, this bishop here is not amazing. Okay, we move the king because the knight would like to move at some point. And again, this move's by white. I see a lot of people who are kind of good at chess, but don't quite know how to formulate a plan. I see them playing these moves like a3, h3. They're not mistakes, and occasionally they can be extremely useful, but also they could be a waste of time. So they have to be played based on the position and not just something that you do if you don't know what else to do. Um, Here, White has several ideas. He can try to control the center and challenge it eventually. Something like c3, followed by g4 at some point, bringing this knight into the game. All of them are reasonable moves. This is not a mistake, but again, it's quite slow. Okay, we continue to develop. The point is now we can maybe raise our queen and then connect the rooks. And also, occasionally, if everything works out correctly, there might be some sacrifice on this square. Okay, b4. It's not a terrible move. It gains some time. The bishop obviously goes back here to remain on the diagonal. Knight h4. Um, and knight h4 doesn't really have a purpose. I mean, well, if white gets several moves, white will play queen here, knight here, checkmate, but white needs several moves, which he does not have. And the point of g5 is there is a very specific forcing line here. After knight here, black can play g4 to try to open up the white king And black rook, because the black king already moved, black rook actually gets this line. White takes the knight, and now there is actually an important question. It's black must stay with the queen. The reason is if black takes with the bishop, white knight actually gets this spot. So black has to take with the queen, which is what happens. The knight drops back to f3. And now, of course, g4. White decides to take. Takes back. And white decides to attack our queen. The queen drops here, and this is the most flexible move because the queen might be able to come here, the queen might be able to come here, and also it doesn't want to go all the way down because it blocks the rook, and this move is quite a bit less flexible. It also gives white knight the square. White tries to trade bishops. Black activates the rook. And white decides that he doesn't want to deal with any nonsense on this line. Something like bishop here could possibly be an idea. But the problem is it does weaken light squares quite a bit. Now queen f5. Double attacking the knight. And here I thought white should probably defend with the king and try to hold on for dear life. He's still losing, of course. He tries this move, which is not terrible. Black can win a pawn here. We can take, white will take, and then we get this pawn, and of course this is much better for black, but it's not quite necessary because instead we moved our queen, keeping the queens on the board. With the queens on the board, it's much harder for this king to be alive in the next couple of moves. White obviously cannot block because this bishop falls. So white saves the queen, and now there are several moves which make sense. We played here, attacking the rook, but also revealing this rook with the idea to take the knight. Here, white should maybe try knight g2. The point being is if black tries to checkmate, white just moves the knight. And white is holding on a little bit, but white made a mistake. Plays here, king h2, and now of course we just take the rook, white takes back, and we already have material. We continue attack with rook g4. I will let you try to guess the threat that black has with this move. If white is not careful, black wants to sacrifice. Rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, forcing the king here, and then there is rook check, king here, and then queen to this square is checkmate. So again, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, king here, rook check, king here, queen checkmate. And it's not just hope chess. If white sees the threat, we still will double up the rooks and try to use all our pieces in the attack. White double defends the knight, and now of course we bring the second rook, and we have a threat which is very, very difficult to stop. White does not stop it. He moves the knight, which of course hopes to fork everything. However, in this position, black has a very, very good move. And I will pause and let you find it. And the move, of course, is rook takes. The logic is if white takes, which is what will happen in the game, black has a check, followed by checkmate. If he moves, well, at least black is up overwhelming amounts of material, and I'm wondering if there is actually checkmate. Well, black can win another rook at least because check, king goes here, check, king goes here. There is this queen check. Here this rook falls, which is really, really good. In the game, white just took back, and now there is a simple checkmate, check. And here black has two different checkmates, actually. Can do this or that. We did this one. And again, this is a this game is a very, very good illustration of how to take advantage of your opponent's mistakes, why it's not a good idea to spend your time on playing moves like h3, a3, knight h4. Moves like this, while not terrible in themselves, they don't have a purpose as such. I mean, this one does. It hopes that black is stupid. But usually moves like this, they just give your opponent a chance to get an easy development. Again, shout out to Ben. He is getting better at chess. This was a well played game, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, please tell everyone else about this glorious channel, and please, if there is anything you want me to do in the world of chess, leave the comment in the comment section. I'll see you in a couple of days.